So hello and welcome back to Iconic Productions Streaming Games. We are the 13th age group, the heroes at the edge of desolation, and these are the Obsidian Souls. I am Becca, the game master for this game, and you may notice we have a new player. This is our mysterious adventure that Y pulled along at the end of a last game. I will give the recap for the game, but as I was reminded last week, we need to roll iconic relationships for 13th age. Tonight is kind of a good night with someone who has played 13th age before, but it might have been a little while. We'll be affirming some of the rules and just kind of reminding everybody. So right now, everyone has 3 iconic relationships, and these are the icons are nearly deific people and influencers of the world, and you have some sort of relationship with them, whether it's a positive one because you're best buds or possibly related, or maybe a negative one because you fight against them and you think they should be taken down, or it's conflicted because you don't really know how you want to feel. Everybody has 3. Sometimes it's all with one person, sometimes it's split up, and they roll a d6. If they get a 5, they get essentially a conflicted token for the evening. They can use it this session to get aid, to get a clue, to get a nugget of information, and to say, oh, I know that person, or I know that information because of this relationship I have. And if it's a 5, it's going to be conflicted. I get to throw in a wrench into the plans, maybe not give them exactly what they want, but something that they need that then they can, turn around and throw back in my face later. Or if it's a 6, there are no complications, and they essentially get what they want on my terms. So out of everyone here, we will start up with Lee and Chris, who play Trip and Darul. Trip, the Varthan Fate Weaver, and Darul, the Dwarven Barbarian. Did you guys get any iconic relationships?
Yes. I will start. I got a 6.
And in the background.
Hello, Hank, squeaking
Hank.
everything.
Come back
down.
in a
We'll
second.
get back to you guys. So, that was loud. I'm so sorry to all of our viewers. That hurt me as much as it hurt you. So let's go to Paul and Rachel. Rachel plays the Oxen Necromancer, and Paul plays the Pantheran Rogue, Vave and Miles. Did you guys get any iconic relationships?
I got nothing. I got 3 4s in a row. Does that count for anything?
No, 3 1s I will, but no, not for 3 4s. Sorry.
I got conflicted with the Wanderer.
All right. Shani, who plays Y, our elf, half elf, chaos mage,
Full elf. Wood elf.
Wood elf.
I got a 5 with the red alchemist.
Cool. Lovely. And then I'm going to hop back to Lee and Chris real fast before we introduce Abby's character. So,
Yeah,
Lee and Chris.
We got rid of the dog. I mean, we didn't get rid of the dog. We temporarily put him outside. I got a 5 with the guild, and that's it.
Okay.
I got a 6 with the Rivener and a 5 with the Guild.
Okay. All right. And then tonight we have Abby. Abby, who's playing a ferocious somebody. But she has iconic relationships with the keeper of the Desolates, a great oxen who wants to keep the Desolates, this area where you guys all are, in harmony and all together. Very powerful oxen figure, kind of a high druid vibe going to her. And Abby, did you get any 5s or 6s on your dice with her?
Yes, I got a 5.
She got a 5 with the keeper. Great. So last week, the troop met with the lovely Jathal head of monastery, stone on top of mountain. And after questioning him, he determined that this group was not really a good one for the task at hand, at which point a lot of feathers were ruffled, and the group reassured him that they could continue on and go and investigate why a volcano was erupting unusually. The Jethal stone from the top of mountain wanted Y to stay and learn more meditation in an attempt to calm herself and balance herself, because he sensed she was a little out of balance. And so the group left her behind, went forward into the heart of the mountain, and after a very exciting montage scene where they scaled walls and avoided cavern collapses, they came to a room with a lake of lava, found a way through and across the lake to the trap door, got past the tunnels that were mirror-like and had your reflection, and entered a room where there were some crazed fire elementals. And after defeating them, Y pops up behind them, telling them how much she missed him and about this new friend that she has. Abby, would you like to give us a brief description of what you look like as this person who's popping up next to our wild-haired, crazy little chaos mage?
Absolutely. So Balnay is a half orc. So probably a little bit some startling features as I'm popping out by our chaos mage, but also familiar features because I am. I'm not half human, but humanoid, less orcish. I mean, I'm a fighter, so I'm wearing armor. Have a couple swords strapped on me, and that's kind of me.
Kind of you. Now, Balnay, you met Y up in this monastery, and Y convinced you to join her in chasing down the rest of her party, the Obsidian Souls. Shawnee, what would you have said in order to convince a fighter to come with you?
Well, obviously, because she is a half orc and she mentioned she had some crazy features, she would have been just taken aback by my love and appreciation for all of the things that make her her, all of her wild and crazy armor and just beautiful things that make her who she is. And I just had to have her come along with me. I couldn't see another way. So, after relentless bothering and compliments, she decided to come with me on my quest to see my other beautiful friends, my family.
Yeah, why didn't let you say no? Is really what it came down to. So, what pops up as you guys have finished fighting off several small fire elementals that seemed a little crazy and really hungry?
Wow.
What are you gonna do?
You guys did so well at that. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that they were so good? Wait, is it Balnay? Balnay, is that how you pronounce it? Balnay? Yeah. I would have been like, Balnay, didn't you see? They were so talented and beautiful and lovely. This is why I follow them around everywhere.
I have to admit they did better at this fighting thing than I thought they would. I think they might be. This group might be okay. I'll follow you.
Hey, why?
Yeah.
Why aren't you in the monastery practicing meditation?
Right. So, well, I had a great time. So much fun. You guys have the best ideas. But I feel balanced. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, I sat there, I breathed in, I breathed out, and then it just seemed like I was useful in other places. But look at me. Don't I look just so balanced?
Can Trip go over and like touch her to get like a read of what's kind of like follow the thread kind of thing? Get a read on her a little.
Yes.
Trip's just,
Y or Balnay?
why? Trip's just gonna go up to her and just like grab her cheeks.
Okay.
Just
Yeah. So as you squish Y's cheeks and you follow the thread, Y feels the same as usual. I mean, calmer, not real. I mean, she's breathing deeper than she was before, but
too hard to say. Why or not why? Wow. Trip will just pat her on the head, just nod and step back and just kind of nod to everybody like, yep, she's cool.
she is who she is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She is in fact who she represents herself to be.
How surprising.
Shock.
Balnay is going to be a little bit worried now.
Yeah,
So-
I was gonna say, I bet you'd be a little worried watching a Varthan walk up to a person and just like do this to a person's face. I feel like that would just be terrifying. I wouldn't want that to happen to me.
Abby,
So,
you know
yeah.
my character's like a spider person, right? I don't know if yes, she's no okay, so so basically my character is a Varthan, which is spider-like, like sharp, very, more edged than, soft round shapes like a person. More she's got 8 eyes for one. So she's got 6 eyes around the forehead, 2 in the middle. She's sharp, pointy teeth. She's got 2 extra arms here, but she kind of usually keeps them tucked back. So yeah, she's and like a very sharp bob that kind of hides some mandibles. So yeah, she's interesting looking.
Interesting is
And,
perfect.
and on that note, you won't be able to understand her because she only speaks Varthan. I'm the translator basically at this point.
Yeah,
Unless there is a reason in one of your backgrounds for you to be able to speak the spider language. I don't know if you have a reason.
Also, I forgot about this thing, but originally, I'm going to double check this. I roll a d6, and I think if I roll a 1, I radically misinterpret what she says. So I'm going to start playing by that rule because that sounds like a lot of fun. Just as a side note.
Yeah, I remember that rule. Yeah. All right. So you guys are in this room. You kind of magically transported into it. And so as you guys look around, the walls all look like they are shimmering from the heat. This room itself is very hot. And as you turn, you see along one of the walls is a set of double doors that are metal that are about 3 times the height, of Vave. And your new half-orc friend is a little bit shorter than Vave, but Vave is a very tall oxen, big curling horns, sheep face. And so these doors are about 3 sizes of Vave tall, deep black metal that seems to be rippling or shimmering in the heat. There's no other way out of this room that you can see.
I'd like to go investigate sort of where the fire elementals were.
Okay.
Because they kind of came around the sides, right?
Yeah, and as you go around, you see that along the sides of the walls, there's a little trench that they were kind of in, that they had popped out of, and you see fire and embers and even some like little baby elementals kind of flickering and then disappearing. But they are not large enough to pose any threat to you.
Could we keep one? Can we get one?
That was coming.
How?
Well, interesting question. Well, so perhaps maybe they'll just be able to cool down a little bit, you know? Well, we won't know until we try. Let's go over there. I want to go investigate the little baby fire elements to see if I can keep one. And maybe like they'll just, you know, they'll be like, oh, you know, she's a fire elemental as well, so we're just gonna chill out, and then they'll cool down enough that I can like keep it on my shoulder or something without catching my hair on fire too often.
There are embers.
Too often. I liked the too often.
Because we all know it's going to happen. It's just how often it happens that the question is. But I mean, you go over and there are little embers.
Can I grab one?
Yeah. Can you roll a save for me?
I think I'm gonna not let her grab it. I'm just gonna like push her hand away and be like, no, these aren't pets.
No, of course they're not pets. They're little baby elementals, and we can train them to be our best friends. And maybe, you know, they can sit where Orion used to sit.
Well, no, hold on. How about you potty train your first one and then we can move on.
And
The
you don't want to take the baby elementals away from their home.
What if their parents are waiting for them?
But you just
So that begs the question, what does potty training a fire elemental look like?
No, I'm speaking more so to the starfish that she has claimed, who wets the bed quite often. So I would say.
Well, I would say for a water elemental, she is very predictable. You know, she's not too extravagant in her excretions. Anyways, I think that we should just try. I mean, okay, Becca, you said to roll a save, right? Does that mean that I already did it?
If you go to pick up an ember, I need you to roll a save.
I don't think I'm gonna let you pick one up.
Also, if we have the starfish water elemental and a fire elemental, I feel like that's not going to end well.
Okay, but I have both of those elementals in my head, and I turned out great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm guessing he's not going to let me touch it. Okay. Like to the fire elemental, but I am disappointed and heartbroken.
So, do I see anything else, Becca, other than these fire embers around the room?
Nope. I mean, if you want to make an investigation to like very closely look at everything, you are welcome to.
I feel that might not be necessary. However, I'm going to encourage Y to go sit in the middle of the room and meditate on fire elementals.
Yes, because then I can keep one. You are the smartest. Okay, yes, I will go into the center of the room and I will meditate. I will sit on the ground with my legs all sorts of crisscrossed, and I'll probably be doing something funky with my arms that I think is right. That might just be really weird looking. Like this. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
something like this. That's
So,
just you.
As Miles was looking around the room and then stopping Y from touching anything, Darul, Trip, Vave, Balnay, what are you guys doing?
I'm just going to be leaning on a hammer and just kind of watching. It's very entertaining. It's very odd. I just don't know what to do at this moment.
I'm gonna go and offer my hand out to Balnay in greeting. My spindly, creepy hand.
Totally gonna like inspect your hand. Oh, no, come back. Oh, there it is. I'm here.
Maybe
I'm
I should introduce.
What? Can you
hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you cut out for just a second, but yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm going to like inspect the creepy hand for a minute and then just be like, okay, I'll shake it.
And then I'll look over. Oh, hi, and just extend my hand to Balnay too. I'm Derul. I don't know what's going on. Things are confusing. Things are a little cloudy. Nice to meet you. I'm not sure what's happening next, but I'm sure we'll get some instructions soon.
I didn't accidentally crit fail a memory save and made him lose all his memories. What are you talking about, Abby?
And I didn't accidentally roll a nat one and pull his memories out of his head on accident.
What are you talking about?
It wasn't us.
I know that I have parents because, my hammers say, one's mom and one's dad, but that's. Anyways, nice to meet you.
Oh, what's that? Have to make dinner now? Okay.
It's nice to meet you too. What did you say your name was again? I'm sorry.
No, I'm Darul.
Darul. Nice to meet you.
I'm from somewhere. I'm from somewhere. Why are you here again?
Well, I met up with Y at this monastery, and well, she didn't really let me say no. She's kind of dragged me along on this adventure, I guess.
You know what?
That's
You know
all
what?
right.
That sounds right. Say no more. And at that point, I passed her over just another flagon of water and some dried jerky. Just here. I'm sure it's been a long journey, and God's know what you've been through. Just here you are.
Thank you. That's very thoughtful of you.
Can
And
I investigate the walls?
in half a second, I want to hear what Vabe's going to do first. Or what is Vabe doing?
I'm gonna ask what is your name again, Abby? I'm sorry.
Balnay.
How do you spell that?
Balnay.
Thank you. That's helpful. I'm gonna ask Balnay how they got here.
What do you mean? We traveled.
How did you get to this room specifically?
So you got to this room by walking into the volcano. There, you found this room full of a lava lake, but a stone plinth had already been knocked over that you were able to walk across to get to this trap door, which you dropped down into. You walked down a tunnel, saw your reflection, read a encrypted keep your eye on the wall, walked backwards because I told you, walk backwards while staring at the wall, and you ended up in this room together.
Okay, so they're here the same way we did.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
All right. All right, Miles, as everyone else is having a conversation, you may investigate the walls.
Is that intelligence or
Intelligence.
perception? Okay.
If you're looking for something specific, intelligence. If you are just trying to get the general feel for it, it will be wisdom.
So intelligence then.
Okay.
And I got a 13. Wait. Sorry. 16.
All right, what are you looking for exactly?
Mostly a way out. I know the last room, it said stare at the walls. So maybe something along those lines or some sort of an inscription.
There's a set of double doors.
Did you already say that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I
cool.
did not hear
It's
that.
okay.
Yeah, I missed that. I'm gonna go to the double doors.
3 times Vave's height. They're big, massive, black metal shimmery doors.
That's what the black shimmery thing was. Okay. Cool. My bad. I'm gonna go to the doors and try and open them.
Okay, roll a save for me.
Yep, that makes sense. 15.
You are going to take 6 points of heat damage as the doors burn your hand and you tug one open partially.
Cool.
By the way, for those of you who are in the fight, you need to be above half hit points.
Fight.
Are you above half?
Yeah.
If you were in the fight last week,
So to answer everybody else's things, we're all in a fight.
Again.
Suddenly, yes, that is just the way that we find things. You're above half. I'm above half.
Mhm.
I believe that everyone is above half because we took some recoveries at the end of the last session.
yes.
What are we fighting?
We don't know yet.
Oh, okay. Then I thought I severely missed something. Never mind.
It's okay.
No, we fought something last week. Now we're just in an empty room, and I just opened a door. So we're not fighting anything presently.
The door opens to a hallway. Very tall, very grand, very hot.
Question, would my potion have worn off by now, or would I still have any of that heat resistance?
You do still have that heat resistance, which is why I only gave you half damage for the touching of the doors.
Cool. Good to know. Thanks. Is it like open enough to like squeeze through, or?
You could squeeze through, and Juan could squeeze through, and Trip could squeeze through.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna take off my helmet and like hook one of the horns on the door and pull it.
The door pulls open further.
Cool. I'll put my helmet back on and walk in.
Okay, your helmet's a little warm,
Cool.
just so you know. I don't know if you sweat or just glisten, but it's getting
So-
warm.
I don't know what doesn't. Just
Given my armor and my background and the rest of it, is the door wet enough for me to go through? And how does
Yes.
the temperature feel?
For you, it's warm, but it's not unbearably so. This feels familiar.
So I've got warm fuzzies. Good to know.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, Vave had opened the door further, so you were able to get through it.
Precisely. Excellent.
All right, and you guys begin to walk down the hallway. And your marching order is, if one were to want that,
That was the least subtle thing possible. I think based on everything else, it was going to be Miles, Trip,
we
Why?
first.
No, I opened the door.
Vave, and myself and then Vave. Based on size.
I'm sorry, I'm probably just still meditating in that room because everybody wanted me to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and get her.
Thank
This-
you.
And I'm gonna, at the same time, I'm gonna introduce myself to Balnay because I haven't done that yet.
Okay, then the moment that the door was wide enough for Darul, I would proceed forward for the familiarity and the warmth. So on first.
I'll follow him.
It's wide enough for 3 of you guys to walk next to each other. So I have Rule and Vave.
My golem will be last. But I'll probably be back there with my golem.
What if we do Darul Vave first, then myself, Lee, and Shawnee sort of last, and then
I thought she
Abby
went
kind of
back
being-
for why?
Yeah, but we need Balnay in there too.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Balnay somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I can be in the middle towards the front.
Okay. So I have Darul and Babe are in the front. Balnay is behind them. Y will Trip and her golem, and then Miles and Y.
Sure.
Okay. You guys walk through this massive hallway and you hear sounds of shouting and yelling. You hear things crashing. The heat is getting warmer as you go. Those of you who have taken a fire potion or happen to have salamander armor, it is not affecting you terribly. But everyone else, you're starting to get uncomfortable. And I will need you guys to roll me a save.
How do I do that?
Just roll a d20.
Just a straight save?
Straight save.
I was getting my backgrounds for literally being like all 4 elements.
So an 18 would be good, yes.
Yeah.
I got a 13.
Okay.
I got 19.
Okay.
If I'm not allowed to add anything, I got a 12.
Okay. Cool. You guys all make your saves and are not hampered by the heat. And you continue on. And yeah, like I said, you guys are heading forward. Heat is growing, and you hear a lot of noise up ahead of you.
Is it like coherent? Can we like understand what things are being said? Is it like elemental sounds, like crashing volcanic noises?
More crashing volcanic noises. But at times there seems like there's a voice. Yes, babe?
Since I can speak some fire elemental, does that make a difference of like what I can hear?
It is still incoherent in that what is being yelled is not actual words, but
Okay.
just something angry. Elemental,
Cool.
probably fire, but super duper angry.
Cool.
gonna-
Sorry. This seems like it's kind of my fault. So while we're like walking, can I be singing like a song? It would probably go something like, fire elementals, chill out, calm down, something like that. But like really like supportive of where they're at, but also like asking them to kind of chill, you know?
Yeah, that's a beautiful song that you are singing.
Thank you.
Roll me a d20 plus your charisma and level. Is that a
That
1?
I got an 11.
Okay. So you rolled like a 4. All right. Cool.
I mean, isn't an 11, worth a save on just a normal roll?
Yeah, an 11 is a save. This isn't a save. All right. So, and I would like you guys, as you come up to you see a large doorway into another room. I would like you guys to make a perception check for me. That is a wisdom plus level, plus a background that can help you sense and understand what is going on in the room before you. Rachel rolled well. Yeah.
I got a 14.
Are we doing backgrounds too? I'm sorry.
Correct.
Yeah, if you have a background to help.
Sorry,
Not-
what are we trying to do again?
What you sense or see around you, taking in the general atmosphere of what's above. And
Okay,
in front.
then I got a 19.
Okay.
I got a 28, not 20.
Nice. Yes, Daru.
Got a non-nat 20.
Same.
Cool.
That's
What?
a 21.
Okay. And Balnay?
I got a 9. And would a background as a former captive give me anything?
How would it give you anything?
Heightened awareness of what's around me. I was having to watch myself, be aware of when guards were coming and going, trying to keep my head down, but also not being beaten down. Very aware.
All right, I will take it. Yes, you can add that background to it.
How much does that add?
However much that background is. Is that your
Okay.
2 or your 3?
It's a 2.
Okay.
So then I'm at 15.
Okay. Alrighty. Cool. So you guys are walking into this room and you all immediately notice the heat. You see the river of lava that is flowing through. You see the places where it has pooled and is bubbling. The floor is slick, having been melted. And you all see the epic fire elemental in the middle of the room, and he is the one who seems to be screaming. My 20s and above, you see he doesn't seem to be moving from the very center of the room. He seems to be pacing almost as if he is restricted. And my 28, you see steam rising up from where his arms, like his wrists might be, rising up, off of his wrists as if there's water there. What do you guys do?
Yep, I want to immediately run directly into the center of that room, and I want to say, "Hi, I'm Y. You are so beautiful and strong, but your screaming is very loud. Why are you screaming?"
So you're gonna just run right up to him?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
For sure.
Family,
Cool.
you know.
Cool.
Yep, that's something else.
Why?
Yeah.
You're going to just drop unconscious.
That's probably best for the whole team, honestly.
The blast of heat that comes out from this elemental as it turns and just kind of releases this heat. And yeah, you guys all watch Y just drop from being hit with this amount of heat, and you guys all feel it kind of push up against you. What do the rest of you guys do?
So can we tell if this is an elemental or is it like a humanoid thing? You said it was pacing.
Yeah, it seems almost to be a humanoid made of fire.
What else is in the room?
Lava? Rock? There's not much in here.
So does the fire dude seem to be like in agonizing pain? Is that what the yells are?
Yes.
Okay. And is that from, can I tell if that's from like the water shackles or like the actual fire?
Probably the water shackles.
Okay. I'm gonna tell that to everybody else.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Is there some way that I can get Y out of there so she doesn't immediately just combust into flames?
Sure. How do you do it?
Well, I was kind of thinking I would lasso her leg and sort of drag her back. I don't know if that would actually work.
Okay.
But
Make a roll.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go for.
Okay. Shotty had gone running straight up to this guy, and in startlement, he lashed out at her. Paul is not running into the room, but attempting to lasso her.
So I'm assuming that's a dexterity. I'm going to throw in Temple Infiltrator because normally I have to lasso onto, like balconies. Usually it's with a grappling hook, but it's about the same. So do I add level to that?
Yeah.
Cool. Because I'm going to need that. So that is, it's an 18. So it's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, you get a hold of Shawnee's leg and are able to pull her back.
Just gonna, actually, I'm gonna get her starfish out and sort of just pour it on her face.
So you are going to pour water on her face in a room where water will probably boil instantly.
Oh, well, I guess probably not then.
Okay, so we're not going to burn Shawnee's or Lee's face. Why? That's the person. Why?
I'll just give her a little slappy slap.
Okay. Shawnee, you are up, and you are at your health that you were at the start of this session. I'm not going to take away hit points for that. So what are you guys doing? You feel another roll of heat come off of it.
Becca, you are too good to me. First of all, I would like to say that.
Well, I rolled a natural 20, and you just be incinerated otherwise.
Yeah, that would be bad news. Okay, I would probably be pretty disoriented, right? Like when I woke up, I don't know. I'll probably be like, whoa, I must not have had enough berries this morning. I gotta go talk to that guy. He seems super upset.
I'm gonna keep her lassoed, like, as a leash.
Just around your ankle now, forever.
If I may, my next action would be to rush in to try and grab her and drag her out of the heat into a safer chamber.
She's right next to us. I already did that.
Okay, you did bring her back out. I'm sorry, that was unclear. But still, trying to bring her out into a place where the heat is not affecting us as much. I mean, is that in this chamber where we are at, are we just not affected by the heat, or is it?
You guys have all currently rolled your saves that you aren't getting harmed from the heat.
Okay. But clearly Y has taken some, I don't know if damage is not. Sorry,
Why
what?
got blasted by some whipping flames? Because she ran
Right.
up to him.
Well, please excuse me for stepping away for a moment. Is she currently experiencing any negative issues from where she's at.
She's unconscious, I think, is the only thing.
Miles
So healing-
brought her back to consciousness.
Oh.
She is currently dazed.
Okay, then forget everything I said. Thanks.
No, you guys are fine. You guys are trying to care for her.
Go ahead.
Can we tell where the water shackles are like coming from?
You definitely can, and if you point them out to everyone else, they seem to be binding him to this spot.
Like in the middle of the room? Is it like in a corner?
To this spot in the middle of the room, he seems to be stuck there.
Okay.
Chain, middle of the room. Him, circles.
Okay.
Okay, can I try and get him unchained?
I'm not gonna let that happen.
Are you
I
going to
super
run
want it
up
to
there
happen.
again?
Listen, this is my problem. He's chained up in here and that's no good.
So how about you talk to him?
I tried
Well,
that and
how
I
about
was
you
gonna
talk to
try
him
it
from a-
again, but you won't let me walk over there.
Yeah, how about you talk to him from a distance? Because last time you almost died.
Okay. That may you all right, that's probably smart. Okay, I wanna yell really loud because he's probably super loud with his screaming and stuff, and I wanna say, hey, I can help. What can I do?
Make a charisma check.
Lucky for you guys, my charisma is my highest, so go figure. Oh no way. Can I add anything?
Charisma plus level plus something that will help you.
Okay, neat. Like a 14.
Okay. He seems to pause, and you get the sense that he is about to lash out at you again.
Cool. I'm gonna immediately go into my song. I'm gonna start singing because I feel like singing eases tension really super well. So I'm gonna start singing and be like, "Oh, fire elemental, you don't have to be so angry. We're here to help. This is my dream team." And I'm gonna go through each person in song and announce who they are, and then I'm going to finish with myself and say that I am Y and you are a part of me and I am a part of you. So let's do this together. Anything?
Okay.
Does she make it through the song?
She
That's a good question.
She does. Okay. So there is a large fire humanoid in the center of the room. Vave has noticed that it seems to be shackled there. I am unsure if Vave has pointed this out to anyone else. So Vave is the only one who knows this. Shawnee has run up to the guy, got blasted by the heat. Sorry, Shawnee. Y went running up to the guy, got blasted by the heat. Miles was able to lasso her and drag her back to the group. At this point, Y is approaching this big fire elemental thing again, singing. It's not really calming him. Sorry, Miles, I need you to pause. Because what's happening now is Y and Miles, you guys are just like going. I need to know what the rest of the group is doing. So I need to know if Balnay is at all worried about this. I need to know if Vave is going to say anything. Trip and Darul, you guys are trying to help Shawnee, but she's already come back. Sorry, Shawnee. Why? I don't have your names like right in front of me today, so I'm calling you guys by your real names. So I need to know what is the rest of the group doing. Balnay, there's a giant fire thing in here. What is your first instinct?
I am remarkably nervous because I am a fighter and I really, really, really want to go fight it. But after watching Y just be knocked unconscious with the heat, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's probably not a great idea to run up there. Should I shoot it? Should I not? Should I just stand here? I'm real confused. I feel very useless and it's very uncomfortable.
Okay. Vave.
I'm telling everybody, I told everybody about the shackles, and I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything in the room that I can like release the shackles with.
Not really. They are seem to be somewhat made of water. You don't know what they are because you haven't really gotten close to them. You've noticed them. You guys are just at the doorway. Besides Y and Miles, no one's really gone into this room yet. Otherwise, it's lava, it's smooth stone, and you know he's stuck there. Y keeps going up to it, and it doesn't seem to be listening to her. Darul?
For some reason, moving into this kind of environment is comforting. It's warm. It's like an embrace. Can't describe it. So I move in to just try and provide some grounding for what is going on. I've clearly seen the attacks and I've clearly seen everything else that has gone on. I'm not going to move in an aggressive way, but I am going to step up in a defensive stance and say, what do you want from us?
Wait, hold on. I want a private sidebar with him just for 1 second.
Private sidebars. They can happen if you are sitting next to the person, not if you have to talk to them through your computer screen.
Never mind. I tried to ask him if he could do a history check on a thing that his memories are gone. And so, never mind.
Well, Darul, you recognize the actions here of almost like a trapped animal. You seem to remember this one time that you were going to try to catch a fire salamander with people that you don't remember who. And yeah, and when something gets trapped, it acts very aggressively. Talking to it probably isn't going to calm it down unless you're able to get past its anxiety. Yes.
Given that my armor is salamander armor, it's volcanic salamander armor, I would posit that I recognize some of the patterns, some of the different things on its skin is the same as my own. And I would, instead of posturing in an aggressive fashion, try to reach out to it and try to just establish something to give some kind of camaraderie, to do something else, because frankly, I'm going to look kind of like he does. And even if I don't have my memories, seeing myself in a mirror once or twice, and I know that that's essentially what my armor looks like.
Okay. So you are approaching the wounded animal.
Yep, with no weapons in hand, just an outstretched hand.
All right, so right now, Darul and Y are approaching the giant, angry, fire elemental humanoid thing.
Yeah, after Vave tells about the shackles, my background with former captivity also just comes to the forefront of my mind, and I 100% relate. So I'm going to venture into the room and kind of scan the surroundings as best I can see to see if there's a way that, I guess, to look closer at the shackles, because I remember being shackled, and I remember that fear, and I remember the scars. Like I would still have scars on my wrists from shackles.
Okay.
And I remember that trauma.
All right.
Um,
Miles.
oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Trip. No,
I just
go for it.
while everybody's moving towards it, I'm taking me and my golem back away from it because I feel like cornering it with like a lot of people is a really bad idea. So I just wanted to say Trip's backing up with the golem.
Okay.
That's all.
Great. And then
Done.
Miles and Vave. Trip is backing up with her golem. The other three are approaching cautiously. Y is attempting to talk to it and sing to it, somewhat soothingly.
I am gonna hang back with Vave. Not Vave, sorry, Trip. My friend.
I'm just gonna observe everybody right where I am.
Okay. If you want to try to find where these shackles are, you're going to have to do an investigation check and possibly get a little bit closer. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Darul, Balnay, and Y, you can also, well, Y, you can't, you're busy singing. Darul and Balnay, you roll an investigation check. So that will be a d20 plus your intelligence modifier plus your level, and then a background that would help you find things that maybe aren't obvious right away. What did you get, Faith?
I got a 13.
Okay.
I got a 22.
You got a what? 22?
22.
Cool.
And I am also sitting at 22.
Awesome. All right. Y, what did you get for your singing check that I had you make earlier?
I'm not gonna lie, I can't super remember. Like I have two D20s in front of me and
Okay.
they're both different ones. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I don't remember either. So, roll again, charisma modifier, plus level, plus background. And this is for you attempting to calm this guy.
Oh, that's better than it was, so that's good news. Okay. 31.
All right. So you guys in the back who are watching.
Rebecca.
Yes, Abby?
I forgot to add in my background. That's another 2, so I'm at 24.
Awesome. So those of you in the background who are watching, Trip, her golem, and Miles, you guys watch as Vave kind of walks sideways around the perimeter a little bit of the room, trying to spot the shackles. Between her pointing out where they start on this fire elemental, and Balnay and Darul, who are getting closer, you guys see a few runes that are carved into the floor of this cavern. And as Y is singing and trying to calm this thing, going slower and approaching much more calmly, it does seem that now the elemental is kind of calming down and starting to listen to her. No longer lashing out.
I want to try and go to the closest rune to me and, I guess, slash at it with a sword.
Okay, make an attack roll. Darul.
I'm sorry,
I
which
want to-
roll?
That will be +7. Strength plus level is your attack.
I want to defend it.
You want to stop her from attacking the rune carved on the floor that seems to be binding the fire elemental down? You guys
Okay.
found the spots where the shackles were, and that's what she's attacking.
I'm going to back up a step. I thought that she was saying she was attacking the elemental, and so I would not defend that. Step back.
Right. You would defend the elemental. You're not defending the things binding it. Correct.
Correct. Yes. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. No worries. Okay. So, Abby, what did Balnay get on their attack?
I got an 18.
Okay. You guys watch as Balnay slashes at these runes on the ground, and you see sparks coming up. Balnay, your great sword is a D8 for damage. Is that correct? D10?
Yeah, it's a D10.
Okay, I need you to roll 3 of them because you are level 3. Why your singing is starting to get more melodic. People, Faith can still start to understand you, but you started to go into an elemental speech.
It's because of all that meditating.
Yes, the rule.
So as Balnay is attacking the runes that seem to bind this elemental, I understand what's going on, correct?
Yeah.
I would also like to attack those runes.
The same ones or one of the other ones?
One of the others, just to expand how much damage we might be able to do.
Okay, we can attack roll. And yeah, Babe, you see these runes kind of flare, and you hear from your gauntlet as it says, remember those. They'll help you bind the spirits.
Does a 17 hit?
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Yes.
Balnay, how much damage did you do?
I rolled 17.
17 points of damage. All right. It seems to be
Oh,
cracked.
wait. Hang on. I rolled the wrong die.
The rule.
16 points of damage.
All right. It seems to be cracked. Maybe another hit will be enough to break it and release this fire elemental.
I rolled the wrong dice.
Oh. No worries.
I'm at 23 points of damage. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I would like to memorize the ruins.
Sure. Make an intelligence check. So intelligence plus level plus a background that help you memorize things quickly.
Ooh, warlord, because I'd have to memorize tactics really fast.
Oh, yes, that warlord background. That's not going to come and bite you in the butt anytime soon.
Let's see. 27.
All right. You're pretty sure you got them memorized. All right, Dalrul, I assume you attack these runes again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In your second attack, you are able to completely obliterate them, unless you rolled a natural 1.
Well,
I believe in you.
Why do you say such things? Oh, no, that was actually better.
Okay.
That would have been an unnatural 22. So let's do. Actually 22 points of damage.
Lovely. So between Balnay and Darul, the runes are destroyed. Miles and
Okay.
Trip, you're staying back. And Y is singing, and the noises that she's making sound like fire crackling and stone shifting and water gurgling and air rushing. It's a little uncertain how she's able to do this. But
Is she the avatar?
She is the like elemental champion. So she's got all the elements in her. Associate that with what you want. I'm not saying she's the avatar, but she has all the elements. Can she
I'm gonna
use
start
them
calling
all?
Why Twinkle Toes.
Twinkle toes. There you go. All right. And
Oh,
Do it
this
again. Do it again.
I
giant,
know, hot
this is a giant fire
That's
elemental.
crazy. I just saw that episode. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done.
Calms down and kind of settles in front of her. And Vave, you notice that the steam stops rising off of its arms as if it is no longer shackled. It has calmed down. And it appears in front of you all. And it bows. And Y and Vave, you are the only two that understand this. Would either of you like to translate for your group? All right, so Y is going to translate. Y, how accurately do you translate?
Definitely everything that it says, I definitely say it, but with like a nicer twist, like if it's like, I hate the world, I would say like, he's really just having a tough day with the way things are going right now. I'd be very nice and flowery, but definitely what he's saying for sure.
Okay, so for everyone who does not speak elemental, this elemental is the nicest guy you've ever met. Just seems to be having a rough day as it turns and it bows to Y. And the first thing it does is apologize for lashing out at her. He sees now that she is a friend. He thanks Darul and Balnay for breaking the chains. He apologizes to those in the back that are still standing away from him. And then he turns to you and he tells you that the elements are unbalanced and someone has come into the world with the intent to destroy it.
Who?
He does not yet know her name, but she is a powerful elementalist with many strong allies. And she had come in and bound him here in this place.
Oh
And
no.
that is one of the reasons why the volcano was so angry. He describes her as having wild, fiery hair that just seems to almost have a life of its own. She was small in stature, but strong in spirit and could command the water and the air and the very stone beneath his feet. And he was forced to kneel before her as she bound him in this space. And he tells you that she was doing so in order to keep him kind of locked up and out of the way.
Out of the way of what?
He lets you know that in the future, someone is going to find the throne of fire and use it. And in the process, they are going to destroy many elven tribes.
How do I stop it? What do I need to do?
You need to rebalance the elements. This woman of science and anger and who has her own fire in the heart has commanded that the elements be destabilized so that she's able to better find the 4 pieces of the Dragon Empire. For everyone who hears about this, there are no dragons in Tanar. But someone, a woman of science who seems to have a wild elementalist on her side, is looking to bring back the Dragon Empire. Her first thing that she's doing is destabilizing the elements. And one of the first things she is going to find in about 3 years is the Throne of Fire. And she's going to use it to destroy Estelin.
But why did she lock you up?
It is one of the first moves to find the strongest elements, especially in this region, and hide them away or lock them away. And this is the Fire King. And he tells you that the same thing has happened to his brethren, the Earth King, the Water King, and the Air King. And unless, like, even though you have freed him, and you can still go and free the other elements, unless a ritual is performed and the champion of the elements is able to bring balance back, this scientific woman is going to wreak havoc on the world.
This ritual, you said there was a ritual. What kind of ritual? Or where would I go to find more information about it?
He's an elemental. He doesn't have any magic. He just knows that she has to find pieces and create a ritual. And this is probably then something that someone who can control elements, maybe the champions, can get together to do.
Oh,
so
no.
As GM to players, this is something that you would come up with. You've got a 3-year timeline, so I'm not saying you have to do this now. But some point in your timeline, you guys need to come up with a ritual that you feel like would bring balance to the elements. You need someone who can maybe control all the elements, and whether that's going and finding all the previous elemental champions or using the singular one. You're also probably going to need strong, pure pieces of all the elements for your ritual, and something that would hold them together in a balance. So this is something that you guys would be able to come up with. We can come up with it on stream, or if you want to come up with it in between through chat. This is on you guys. How would you attempt to bring balance to the elements? And again, it's not something that has to happen tonight or even next week. In your grand timeline of things, you got about 3 years.
Okay, so I feel like me being somebody who has all the elements within me, like that was almost like done on purpose because I'm supposed to bring all of these elements together. So I'm thinking that maybe I just lack the knowledge of how to control these elements because the other previous champions have had so much time to like learn these elements. They were raised in the element and have so much power. So maybe as we like go to these different places, we can like talk to these elemental champions and like maybe they can give me some knowledge or like some of their spirit or something that will like sit with me and you know, once I am able to hold myself together, shoot, that seems like a tricky puzzle to build. Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Does that sound okay?
Why, as your friend, and as someone with a slightly fuzzy head, you might stand a good chance of being able to guide us in the right direction. And at best, I can give some guidance with some of those more stony elements and just say there's a lot of work to be done, but I'm here to do what I can.
So, so Darul just gave you guys an idea that with Y in the center as kind of the focal point, maybe other people in the party are going to embody an element. That would be a way to get everyone bring something to the table. Yes.
And I mean, if anyone were to say that I was to embody an element, I would disagree, but rather I just have a familiarity with that kind of thing to say what might feel right, what might not. Because I'm really going on a lot of instinct. I don't really know what is the way it should be, what is right, what is wrong, but there's a lot within me which pushes me towards certain things. So I would encourage my team in a way of whether or not you know what exactly is right, you just need to trust your guts and slap my big belly and say I've got a big gut. So let's go from there.
All right. You have freed the Fire King. You have an idea that there is some wild elemental magic being unleashed, and another woman who is seeking to bring back the Dragon Empire and doing so by unbalancing everything.
I am very curious about if the king has recommendations for who we should go to next to try and free, because we obviously need to free all these kings. So see if this fire elemental can give us some direction of where to go next.
That's actually exactly what I was just about to say.
Well, you guys know from previous conversations with Sir Torum that there is a large canyon in the middle of the Desolates, which is probably a disruption of the earth elements. The Bracken Lake in the middle of the Desolates is drying up, and there are storms in the Feather Range Mountains close to where Gatemark and Fireheart are, two dwarven towns. Maybe Darul is from there. And those are in the range that are along the edge of the Estelin Forest where the elves are from.
What was the lake called again?
Bracken, Braken.
Could I ask the Fire King for like a pure piece of fire for the ritual?
He says he could probably give you something. How would you keep it though, without burning yourself?
Wait, could we ask him for something to carry and transport maybe a baby fire elemental?
Why would you take my children away from me?
I have an iron shard. Does that help?
If you maybe form it into a container, sure.
Could I do that?
I would even argue that she could give him the iron thing and he could sort of melt it around some of his fire or something and sort of trap it inside, creating somewhat of like a coin or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, give me a charisma plus level plus I try to get people to do what I want roll here for me.
Trying to get people. Oh, you know, that good old warlord background. 22.
All right. He considers it and he looks at you and he says, I can do something like that. However, this doesn't have the magic to protect you. So if someone has something magical that they could give up, that he could embed into the iron. Otherwise, the iron is just going to be too hot for anyone to carry.
Sidebar.
Or, icon relationships.
I mean,
I don't know if mine would really help me.
given a lot of everything else, because I am so fuzzy with a lot of different things, and my relationship with the Rivner, I know I rolled a 6 on this, but I know given the Rivner's associations and everything else, Darul would dig deep and pound his fist into the ground to draw upon the goodwill of the Rivner, which probably isn't actually goodwill. Knowing somewhere that he could withstand some of the heat, some of the other pieces to help with this, and throw in that icon relationship to be able to help Smith what he can and contribute what he can.
All right. So we've got a Rivener relationship going into this. Excellent. Because Fave also happens to have a relationship with the Rivener. This is a 6.
We don't talk about that, though.
No. However, it might be a 6, but it's Darul's relationship. It's not Babe's relationship. Okay. So Darul with his magical hammers. Yes. Abby.
I was just gonna say I have my relationship with the Keeper of the Sands, and there's a bunch of interesting points from what you were telling me about the Keeper. They are more closely related with the land, but there is a point that says right here, if she were to die before someone could replace her, because she's constantly looking for someone to replace her, the Desolates itself would lose its champion, and we are trying to champion the return of these elements. So I don't know if my relationship with the Keeper of the Sands could be of any help.
If you would like to kind of toss in that token, we can use it. So excited.
Absolutely, I will 100% toss that in.
Babe, you're going to hold this, right? Yeah, you're going to end up holding this, right?
That's terrifying. I mean, I'm already holding a bunch of other crap. It just might as well just like embed everything in my skin at this point.
Are you going to embed it in your skin?
Oh, Abby, I have a chain link of doom or something stupid embedded in under my armpit.
It's called the Chains of Unbinding, and we hid them there when we were trying to make sure a certain scorpion general did not escape from a dungeon, who was mostly dead.
Yeah. And that was supposed to be part of the ritual, so yeah.
We're gonna get him out of there.
That does not sound good.
Nobody else had a better idea, so that's what ended up happening.
Way to take one for the team.
Uh,
So Darul works with the Fire King using this iron shard and kind of calling on the blessings of the Rivener, the kind of dark crusader who is always looking for people to find redemption, and Ulia Stonehoof, the keeper of the sands, who attempts to keep the desolates in one piece. At which point, since everything seems to be falling apart, she seems like a great choice to call upon. And it takes several hours, but Darul and the Fire King craft a metal chamber, and the king tells you that within it, it's about softball size, maybe a little bit larger. Within it is an ember of pure fire.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? Something pure fire?
An ember of pure fire.
Okay.
All right. You managed to avoid a massive showdown with this guy. What is your plan?
Well, don't we need to find a way to carry the pure fire ember?
Yeah, you have it in a container that Darul has made.
Oh.
Yeah. Bless you.
Oh, shoot it.
So I guess, can we thank him and sort of, I guess, take off? And that's kind of where my head's at.
yeah,
Yeah.
Head to the canyon, maybe. Which place is closest?
Yay, maps.
As I get out my map. You are down here in these mountains. Canyon. Lake. Feather range, where the wind is a mess. Druthin, up here. Here's the tomb. The dungeon.
Don John.
Shadow's Reach is over here.
Are you asking me where we should go?
I'm asking all of you.
I mean, I'd say just
Did
sort of,
Did we fix the volcano because we set the Fire King free? Did I just...
You were under the impression that yes, it is settled for now. It might not stay this way. The fire elementals that you had encountered before, the little ones, had been crazed, and it's unclear whether or not that's because the king had been crazed or if it's the imbalancing. It affects the smaller ones first.
So maybe we should go back to Stone on top of the mountain to explain what we have found, and also for them to monitor the volcano in our absence.
I like that.
All right. So you guys head back. You are able to, as you guys go back into that room that you had magically teleported into, you find an entrance out of that room, and almost through that mirror-like end of the hallway, you're able to climb out and back up and trek back out. It's been about a full day and a half, almost 2 days since you've left by the time you get back. And yeah, you see the Jathal guarding and sees you, and he says, "Oh, you were able to return. The mountain has quieted. I will bring you to talk to Stone from the top of the mountain, and you were not supposed to leave." And it's a little unclear if he's pointing to Balnay or why, but it's in that area. Balnay, you're pretty sure you were allowed to leave? And yeah, they bring you back to Stone from the top of the mountain. He is sitting back in his meditation room, and his face kind of deepens into a darker frown as Y comes trooping in with you all. And he sees you and he says, "So, has it been finished?"
Well, of course. Well, the fire part. There are many steps to this process, but we are working tirelessly to bring order back.
What were you hoping?
I was hoping you would quiet the volcano.
Yes.
Excellent.
Would you keep an eye on the mountain for us?
For what am I looking out for?
The king is free, and he is calm. Keep an eye out to make sure he doesn't become hungry.
And do you have recommendations if he does?
Send
Nothing
word.
else. Call for the Obsidian Souls again?
Yes.
Very well.
That's all.
Oh, and you're welcome, sir.
Yes. Thank you. I suppose it was too much to hope to keep you away from the fire. Very well. You may see Scree, my second in command, for reward.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for us here at the monastery?
We're seeking out what was it called? The canyon in the Desolates. Have you heard any word on that?
It has been growing deeper. The earth is hurt.
Cool. Which way to your second in command?
And he kind of points to the door, and you see someone standing out there. Anything else you guys would need from him?
Should we rest before we travel anymore? Like, ask if there's like lodging that we can sleep at before we make another journey?
Yes, the monastery here has a common room that you may rest in, that you have been allowed to rest in before. And they will help you with some provisions. because it will be a few weeks to the canyon.
Cool.
Okay. You guys leave, and you are offered a reward of about 600 gold pieces worth of items. So it's not 600 gold pieces, but it's furs, some jewelry, various things that have been given to the monastery over the years.
I'll add that to the troop fund that I have.
So yeah, 600 gold pieces worth of goods.
They don't happen to have any special items or things to enhance items? Perhaps?
How many magic items do you have, Miles?
I think just one? I have two. Yeah, I have my obsidian dagger and my cloak.
What did you find in the dungeon in the plants?
Oh yeah, I got a ring. I forgot about that one.
Mm-hmm.
How many magic items are we allowed?
Your level.
Oh, good to know.
If you attempt to attune more than your level, things start happening to you.
Cool. Noted.
Yep.
Does the monastery have any sort of elemental potions or protection, anything? I have no magic items and like nothing that might help me against elemental stuff.
You do have magic items. Your GM just didn't email you like she was planning to.
Okay. I'm glad I have items.
You do. She's just a slacker. It's fine. So yes, I will get to you on that. All right. So you guys are going to head to the canyons. In that case, we will end with the montage across the desolates. So for all of those watching and for anyone who hasn't played 13th Age in a while, a montage is what happens as you're traveling somewhere, and it allows you to show how cool and awesome your character is. You do not have to spend spells necessarily. If you have a spell that would be useful, you may use it. You can use your backgrounds. You can use your one unique thing. But you're going to use something and to demonstrate how cool you are. What makes you so awesome? So you start off with usually a problem. For example, as you are walking down the mountains away from the volcano, maybe there's a rock slide. Who would help you guys? Who would protect you guys? How would you get everyone out of this problem? And moving on. And then after you have solved the problem, you offer a new one for someone else to show off their own coolness. So, do I have anyone who has a problem for the group to encounter?
I was gonna say there's lava coming down from the mountain.
Lava's coming down from the mountain. Who's going to save the group from the lava?
I'll go ahead and do that. I'm just going to be like, hey guys, there's lava. Let's go this way. And so we're going to basically skirt around the side and away from the lava because, you know, I'm not magical and I'm just a logical person.
You don't have any like cool
A panther.
abilities to help everyone maybe jump the little rivulet of lava? Nothing?
I hadn't assumed that there was a little rivulet of lava that we had to jump over. I just assumed it was like
adding it because she wants you to show how cool you are. And yes, logic is always cool. Boys and girls, use your brains, think ahead. But
Hey, think smarter, not harder.
yes.
Okay, so
Tell us about Miles the Pantheran Rogue and how cool he is.
I didn't have anything cool planned. I was just thinking, oh, that sounds easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get the 3 strong people. Wait,
No, this is you. This is how are you being cool, not how everyone else is stronger than you.
well, I can't swashbuckle everyone across the river.
We could.
Can you swashbuckle across the river and knock over something so everyone else can cross?
Well, I was thinking more like push the golem over and turn him into a temporary bridge.
The golem is not yours to push over.
I know.
He does have like 1.5 million hit points though, so it wouldn't even touch him.
He's got 50.
That's like the same as 1.5 million. Anyways, okay. So I will jump across the lake river of lava that's sizable. I'm going to grapple the top of a rock with my awesome lassoing skills. I'm going to somehow, actually, I'm going to throw the rope to the other side and sort of knock at the bottom of this thing while the others pull it down.
Not
I just
the
want.
others. You, Miles, the
I
awesome
can't-
Miles.
I can't pull a boulder down.
Says who? You don't have to be able to pull a boulder down, but you have fancy skills and you might know how to tweak it just the right way so that it topples over.
That's fair. I use a smaller rock to break this larger rock because, yep, that's what I'm good at. And I use my other little dagger that I've used to chisel away at rocks as well to help knock this rock over, and then everyone can cross safely to the place that I was talking about previously before there was a river of lava.
Excellent. All right, what's the next problem? It doesn't have to happen on the mountainside that you're crossing
Please,
the
can I
next
go?
one.
Please.
Paul makes the problem. You can solve it and then give us the next one.
Oh, okay.
So my problem is basically as soon as we reach the bottom of the mountain, there's like this sort of wooded area, and as we're camping, some animals have stolen a good portion of our food.
All right, why? How do you solve animals stealing food as a cool
Yes,
black
well, with
person?
my extensive background of being an elemental hermit that has lived in the woods and survived all of these years, of course this has happened to me many times. So I believe that what I would do is I would wait out one of the nights, like the next night. So all our food or most of our food has been stolen. So then I'd wait because they have to come back for the rest. I'm assuming that their little paws or whatever couldn't carry all the food, so they have to circle back. So the next night I'm going to wait for them. And then as the animals come to try and steal our food again, I'm going to be like, whoa, and use my charisma and talk to these animals and get them on our side and get them to work for us. And then they will actually go find us better food, like berries and stuff that they gather.
All right, why is able to convince all these animals to help you? Why? What is the next problem?
Yes. Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, so now that we have gathered our food and we are traveling through the woods further on into the distance, we stumble upon this tree that is slightly magical and has almost like a bard persona to it, and it won't stop singing, but every time it sings sings this beautiful song that gets us kind of makes us backtrack. So we kind of walk around the tree and then go the wrong direction. And then we figure it out once we're away from the song, but then we go back towards the tree and then we hear the song again and it makes us get all disoriented again. And so we're having a hard time making our way through the forest, as it were.
All right. Balnay, Darul, or Trip, how do you help everyone overcome the Song of the Tree?
Can I solve it by making earbuds for everybody with some webbing so they don't have to hear it anymore?
Some webbing and some spider spit? Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what's going on.
We're all gonna get ear infections.
I'm gonna slightly protest it and ask for some ear muffs.
I shove it in his ears.
Yeah, I thought you might.
All right. What is the next problem as you enter the Desolates, which are barren, empty, and dangerous?
Miles gets an ear infection.
All right, that doesn't affect the whole group. That's Miles is just irritated. It's fine. What else is there? He has disadvantage when you guys have your next fight. Don't worry about it.
I was gonna say you can just give all of us ear infections.
Well, maybe he could get an ear infection that's so bad that he keeps like losing his balance and he keeps falling over and falling into people.
Again, he's got disadvantage on the next fight. But what about now?
So in the Desolates, there's nothing around. We just kind of arrived. I'm gonna say that we are running low on water.
All right. Balnay or Darul, how do you help everyone with water? Oh, Darul has one. All right.
So as we're wandering around, because mirages appear to so many people that are of a taller persuasion, Darul is able to spot a number of cacti in a grove. And Darul goes up to those and, utilizing a dagger, cuts it open to find the cactus juice inside. And Darul starts collecting cactus juice in everyone's containers, everyone's bottles, whatever else he can, and just, as he drinks from it, he notices how it quenches his thirst. Really, it is the quenchiest.
The quenchiest.
It is the quenchiest. And I see a lot of faces hands on faces.
See a lot of faces on hands.
And Darul utilizes the local vegetation that has adapted in this desert climate to absorb moisture in order to give everyone else moisture.
Okay. What is the next problem that Balnay will have to solve? And then Balnay will come up with the last one for Vane.
Cactus juice is making everyone trip.
Okay, I'm glad we were all on the same page with that.
It's making everyone trip just a little bit.
Why is this is my element.
Right. So, Balnay, you haven't been with this group long. It's been about a week now. And today, they are special. More special than they've ever been before. How do you help everyone with this?
So, using my exceptional strength and dexterity and constitution, I am going to herd these people forward as they are dancing and swaying like palm trees, because we need to get to our destination. And so, I'm going to be just herding people along.
How
Be the guard dog.
are you going to herd these cats?
Oh, why did you have to say cats? That just makes it so much harder.
Just so you know, I am actually a panther human, so I'm literally a cat person. Just so you know.
Do I have catnip?
I'm a oxen, so bull-like, which is slightly more manageable.
Like ram, sheep, bull person. Yeah, you've got a spider, you've got a cat, you've got a sheep, you've got a dwarf, and you've got a wood elf. It's cats. It's herding cats.
Yeah, it is. Um,
What? Yeah, tell me about something special.
oh, I've
What?
got it. With all of our group of crazies, I saved all our spiderweb earplugs, and I'm going to make a giant ball out of those earplugs and constantly be tossing it forward for all of us to run and chase after. And once we get there, I'll do it again.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna be
I
all
love
over that.
it. So good.
All over it.
Awesome.
Okay,
So I'm
and
gonna
the
keep us
final thing.
moving with the spiderweb ball.
Awesome. What is the final problem that this group encounters?
The final problem, as we are getting closer to this canyon, I gotta remember, and this is for Vave to figure out, isn't it?
Yes, Babe is a giant necromancer.
Necromancer.
She's got a skeleton friend.
Oh, fun!
Mhm.
Does he have a name?
Sparky.
I like it. Sparky the skeleton. Yeah, so as we're getting closer to this canyon, I'm gonna say we're encountering more earth-related issues. So like earthquakes. Could be words. The desolates are, is it like sand, desert?
Sand scrub, small vegetation. Think New Mexico, Arizona, Utah.
Okay. So yeah, definitely like small earthquakes, landslides if there's any applicable. Just very unsettling earth, and it's revealing lots of burial mounds.
All right. And is anything coming out of these burial mounds?
Yes. Things.
The
probably,
undead are
I think
rising.
probably lots of bones and probably mostly bones.
All right, Viv,
Maybe
the undead
mummies.
are rising.
Depending on the climate.
What are you gonna do about this?
Okay, I'm going to use Death's Gauntlet to reach out from the ground and drag them back into their graves, and I'm going to use my Elemental Gauntlet to then cover the graves back up so they don't come back.
Excellent. Balnay, it is terrifying. I'm just gonna throw that out. I'm sure you have a good handle on the scary things of life. That is terrifying.
I'm all on board with this, though.
Yeah, as that small voice in the back of her head is like, really? But she does what she does. So, you guys have reached the canyon in the middle of the Desolates, the place where the earth is shaking, something is going wrong. You will probably need to free the Earth King or Queen and find the next piece for your ritual. So this is where we are going to call it a night. Thank you so much to everyone who was watching. Thank you so much to our friends and followers. Thank you so much to the Obsidian Souls for being able to always come and play every week. We wish you all a wonderful week. Tune in on Friday on the Iconic Podcast channel. Thank you, Chris. For our 5th edition game, It Gets Worse in Gebercan. And come back next Monday for more adventures in the 13th Age game. Have a lovely evening, everyone. See you next week.
Hot man.